and welcome to the Force Sound Studio. With me is Oscar Jordan from Hammerfall. How are you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, thank you.
Pretty good?
How are you?
Thank you for asking. You're the first one who's asked me that.
Really?
And to be honest, I have a little bit of a cold and feeling a little bit...
It's typical Swedish answer.
Exactly. You're going to play tonight?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And how is it to play... Because obviously you're from Sweden, and it's a standard question, but I'm curious. To play in Sweden, how is that for you?
Well, it's not that different from anywhere else, to be honest. You know, we started... Our two biggest territories have always been Sweden and Germany, so, you know. So it's always been just very rewarding on almost all accounts.
And why do you think that, because there are so many Swedish bands that are big in Germany, why do you think that is?
I guess because Germans know what they're doing. No, I think that there are a lot of Swedish bands who are influenced by German bands. And I think they feel the connection somehow. Yeah. Plus, they also they like good music, and Sweden is unbelievable when it comes to that. So, you know, the Swedish bands are almost immediately respected just because they're from Sweden. Even before people have heard any of the music, they know Sweden is it represents quality, so to speak.
Yeah. And we've been discussing all the festival about all the different types of metal. There's metal heads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And all the metal heads, and especially musicians that play like really dark, heavy, Viking metal, like kill, anger, and stuff like that. Everybody is super nice.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea.
But isn't it weird? Like, I mean, some people are, be scared of me.
I don't think you can be... really successful if you have that attitude that everything is if you're angry or whatever, if you really are that, then that will eat away from your creativity. You won't have the ability to take everything to take the necessary steps that you need to with your art, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And also I think a lot of these people, they just want to play music that they love and have fun.
Exactly.
That's the basis for it. That's where they come in. They don't come into this to play metal music because they think it's a short track to the top or anything. Like this is how I'm going to get famous. You play heavy metal or metal music because you love what you do. And if you don't, you'll get weeded out almost immediately.
Yeah. And speaking of heavy metal, what kind of metal do you say that you play? Because there are like 50,000 types of...
No, the thing is, when I started Hammerfall in 1993.
Yeah.
And back then there was the heavy metal that existed was Manowar, Gamma Ray, Halloween maybe, Iron Maiden, but the releases were few and far in between. And the reason I started Hammerfall was because I love heavy metal music, and nobody else was releasing albums, so I'm gonna do it myself, or at least write songs in that vein.
Yeah.
And heavy metal in those days was a very, it was out. It was not it was the most uncool thing you could do, possibly in the beginning of the 90s.
Really?
In the beginning of the 90s, yes, because then you had the grunge movement.
Oh already, yeah, the grunge scene, yeah, of course.
And all these aggressive bands that had no melodies, but very really aggressive and angry bands, like Machine Head, for example, and they were really big. And Hammerfall was sort of a reaction to that for me, because nobody was doing the stuff I wanted to hear. And heavy metal, like I said, was a very, I don't know how many people told me before, during those times that, hey, come on, when are you gonna grow up and play some real music? Don't you know that this is what's popular today?
Yeah, you can't make a living out of this. I might.
No, well, that was never the idea. Never the idea to make a living out of it. Back in those days, I couldn't even dream of that being a possibility. But to get back to your question, heavy metal for me was what we were, what I wanted us to be, and what I loved more than anything else. So instead of feeling ashamed that we were a heavy metal band, we embraced it instead. And so when anybody asks me, since day one, I've always said this is a heavy metal band.
Yeah.
Because for me, that is such a broad genre.
Yeah, exactly. Heavy metal band, obviously. Yes. And do you have a heavy touring schedule ahead of you? I mean,
yes.
Yeah, this summer's going to be insane.
Yeah, well, the summer is usually only festivals.
Yeah.
But because we release a new album in the middle of August, August 16th, after that it's going to be a couple of tours, and that's going to be pretty insane until Christmas.
Okay,
or
cool.
November at least.
Well, good luck with all your touring, but we're not done yet, Oscar, because all of the guests that are here have to play a game.
Okay.
And hopefully you can take a matchstick. It's called Game, Set, Match. And hopefully Pontus and Joachim and everybody else in the band are going to play this at an after party or something. Twist off the sulfur like this. And then we're supposed to say, like a really famous, you can just like break it off.
Okay.
Yeah. And you stick it in your mouth and say a really famous rock song. And the longer the title, the more fun it is. Like this. No, like this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I can start so you know how it is. All right. Like.
Floor? Okay.
Did you hear what it was?
Friday Waker.
Friday Waker. Yeah.
We own the rails over there.
What was that?
We own the rails over there.
We own the rails over there.
Over there.